So it's April 15th and you owe taxes. Don't worry, don't fret. Your situation is not unusual, and it's often not as bad as people think unless you ignore it. What's up, guys? Mike back at it again, CPA, co-founder of Ledgerly, alongside my partner in crime, Andrew D'Amico, bringing you the latest and greatest tax strategies. Hey, and all things compliance, like April 15th, like this video here. Bang that subscribe button for more videos just like this one. So let's zoom out for a second here. Every year, every single American taxpayer is in the exact same boat. File their 1040 tax return by April 15th or file the extension by April 15th. So this video is for anyone that's filing their 1040 and they're looking in the top right-hand corner of their tax software like, crap, I have a balance due to the IRS and the state, but what happens if I can't pay all this right now? So what I want to walk you through are some actual options, some actual case studies of what we can do, whether we can pay in full, do a partial payment, go on a payment plan, the whole 9 yards. So the first thing, before we dive into it, is the IRS separates two things very distinctly and very clearly: filing your tax return and paying your tax. Now, there's a big debate out there. Filing is way worse than paying, or vice versa, the whole thing. Let me put it in layman's terms. On April 15th, you are expected to either file your tax return or file an extension to kick it out 6 months to October 15th, which is when you will file your return. So let's break it down right here. File and pay. To file, that's going to be on April 15th. Or if we go on extension, that's going to be latest due on October 15th. Cool. Now to pay, the IRS doesn't care. They don't care if you filed your 1040 on time or did your extension on time. You pay on April 15th regardless. If you wait any longer, there's going to be penalties and interest, which will accrue and accrue and accrue and accrue and accrue and accrue and accrue, and you just keep digging yourself into a larger hole. But don't worry, we're going to go over what our options are here. Pay in full, partial payment, installment agreement, all right? However, when we're talking here, rule of thumb, always file. Always file. Whether it's you're filing that return or you're filing that extension, always file. When it comes down to the payment, either make that payment in full by 4/15 or communicate with the IRS. Say, hey, can't pay everything right now, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay half of it now, half of it later. Yeah, you're still going to pay penalties and interest, or you're going to go on an installment plan. Yep, you're still going to pay interest there. If you ignore it, then you are SOL, my friend. So let's walk through it. So option one, pay in full. Obviously, this is the best case scenario. You have the cash on hand, you're financially stable, you don't want to be in IRS debt, rip the Band-Aid off, pay your tax, you got your W-2 job, you were under withheld, or you had a side hustle, you didn't take advantage of deductions, you didn't contact Ledgerly to implement any strategy. Shame on you. Now you got to pay the piper. Now, instead of paying into your future, you're paying the federal government. But the good news is that there's no penalties, there's no interest, you're paying on time, and in this option, it is the best option out of the three. So here at Ledgerly, we hate to see our clients pay tax, but if you're a W-2 employee or maybe have a side hustle and you're not taking advantage of different tax strategies to lower your taxable income and you're just doing everything not by the book because the tax code was written for us taxpayers to take advantage of strategies, so you're basically not doing things by the book and you're doing things the unconstitutional way. It's constitutional to not pay taxes legally. It's unconstitutional to pay tax, right? So when we're paying in full, we're basically just giving more of our income to the government, to the state. So in this situation, number one, in my eyes, is the worst. But if you have a W-2 side hustle, you're not taking advantage of strategies, you're not doing things by the book, you just want to pay the tax, get it over with, option one is the best. It's best when it comes to stopping the penalties and interest. Now, number two, partial payment. Now, this is one that a lot of people don't even realize is on the table. So you can pay something now. You don't need to pay everything. Yes, you're going to pay some penalty. Yes, you're going to pay some interest, but it buys you time, which is the great thing. So this is a good option because it reduces the penalties, it shows good faith, and it buys time. You're basically communicating, hey, IRS, kind of like your landlord, right? If your landlord's texting you, hey, you owe rent for 3 months, and you're ghosting him, your landlord's going to evict you, right? Your landlord is going to do something to take you out of the area that he is paying for. He's paying the mortgage on, probably paying the mortgage if it's not paid off, and you're ghosting him. But if you say, hey man, I'm light on rent this month. Can I pay you half now and half later? Cool. I'm gonna want that communication. Like anything in life, a business partnership, a marriage. If there's no communication, then that business is gonna crumble. You're gonna get divorced or you're gonna get evicted, right? So make sure you communicate, right? Do that partial payment. Now, option three, this is okay, right? It's on the table. Most people are aware of, hey, we can pay in full and we can do an installment agreement. Not a lot of people know about the partial payment, right? Pay some now, then when my paycheck hits, I'm going to pay you the rest later. I know I'm going to have interest and penalties. That's fine. But doing the installment agreement is an okay situation. Yes, there's going to be more penalties, more interest, but these are not rare. Kind of like a 12-month loan or an interest-free credit card. Hey, I'm racking up this $10,000 bill and I'm going to pay you over 12 months. So whereas paying in full is 100% cash flow out of pocket, right here, cash flow decision. The good is like 50-50, maybe 50 now, 50 later. But the okay installment agreement is, it might be out of 12 months. So 1 out of 12. So almost like our engagement here with Ledgerly for our advisory clients. It's more predictable cash flow. You're paying something every month, you're straight lining it rather than a lump sum all up front, right? It's more predictable for you, it's more predictable for us. The only difference is the IRS is charging interest and penalties, right? But again, communication all comes down to the communication. Make sure you tell the IRS, hey, I'm going on a partial payment or I'm doing the installment agreement. If you ghost them and you file your return on April 15th, but you don't pay, don't contact us. You're going to need a tax resolution specialist for that one. And the tax resolution specialist is going to be like, all right, well, you still got to pay. We're trying to bait some of these, but you still got to pay a good chunk of money here. And this is what it comes down to. Like, this is what you should not do. So do not ignore this. Do not skip your filing. This is a good one. Do not assume that it's going to work out itself. Because if you do this stuff that you shouldn't do, yep, penalties, interest, IRS notices. Hey, we're going to come seize your assets. Hey, we're charging you X amount in penalties. Hey, you're in hot water. Now you have to paper file your returns, mail the checks. God forbid they have access to your bank account. They have access to your bank account. You have money in your bank account. They can garnish that. We know most states do. State of Connecticut that we're in will garnish your bank account if you owe them. Okay, what's stopping the IRS from doing the exact same thing? Why do you think the IRS is getting away from paper checks? So they have access to your bank account. So if you owe them, what's going to happen? People, big problem here. And if you ignore this problem, you can ignore it, but you might see some forget direct deposits from your job. How about direct withdrawals or your job sending money right to the IRS on your behalf? Check that out, right? And you're still paying taxable income on that. Crazy stuff. Do not ignore. And look, if you're in the boat where every April 15th comes along and you're filing your return, you're doing your due diligence, you're doing all this, and yet you owe, whether you're paying in full, whether you're doing a partial payment, whether you're doing an installment agreement, but you're like, God dang it, I am so sick of paying more to the IRS. What can I do to stop this? What can I do to put something in place, safeguard my assets, safeguard what I'm working hard for, my generational wealth, rather than cutting a $5, $10, $15,000 extra check to the IRS when it's already coming out of my paycheck? If that's something that you guys want to do, then that's what we're here for at Ledgerly. Yep, we do the compliance work. Yep, we'll file your return by April 15th. Yep, we'll put you on extension. And yep, we'll file it in October on your extension. But if you just want to put more money into your pocket rather than giving it to the IRS or the state, then we can teach you the other strategy. Because remember, people, right now we're in Q1. It's compliance season. Well, it's April, right? So we're in April. We're technically in Q2, but we're focusing on compliance. All the tax strategy videos, all the strategy in Q2, Q3, Q4 that we do with our clients is setting yourself up for the current year so you don't pay the IRS. Or you still pay the IRS, you just never pay tax again later. The sky's the limit for tax strategy, people. The IRS code, the IRC is a playbook, and that playbook is for you and me as American taxpayers. So do we want to read the playbook? Or do we want to ignore the playbook, go off the cuff, file the taxes, pay the taxes, and give the government more money than they know what to do with? Or Do we want to harness that wealth? Do we want to harness that extra money? Instead of working for the government, we're working for ourselves, right? So that being said, make sure we do this. Actually, I'm putting this in green because we want to make sure we're doing the right thing. File on time, whether that's the extension or the actual return. Number 2, pay on time by 4/15, or do a partial payment, a PP, or another PP payment plan. Partial payment plan. Communicate. IRS. Technically, we're in a relationship with the IRS. It's almost like we're in a relationship with the freaking drug cartel here, people. We gotta communicate with them so they don't knock us off, right? Communicate with them to make sure, hey, I can't make the payment in full right now. Here's the option that I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna do 50 now, 50 later, or I'm gonna pay you over 12 months, 18 months. Make sure we are communicating with the IRS, because the last thing we want to be doing is having the IRS examining us. You know what that's like? Ever heard the joke? Yeah, bend over, don't drop the soap in the shower. Yeah. All jokes aside, you don't want to do that. Okay, so make sure you file on time. Make sure you're paying on time. If you can't pay on time, communicate it. And again, if you want this to be the last April 15th where you're like, I'm done freaking paying the IRS more money, I'm sick of it. I'm done. As my Italian mother would say, I'm done. I'm done. I had it up to here. I want to do something that's going to create more value and more legacy for myself and family. That's where you get in touch with us. We will book a strategy call with you and stop you from drinking that Kool-Aid that the IRS is saying, pay into our bucket every year. No. Pay into your bucket. Make tax season great again, people. Make tax season a season where you're laughing at the IRS and not having them laugh at you for you cutting more checks. All right. So hit that subscribe button, book a call with us. Let's make this year the year where you're done paying more to them every April 15th and more focusing on your value, generational wealth, and your family legacy. We'll see you on the next video.